Hi, welcome to my office. I'm going to spend a little bit of time going over some of the radio projects that I've done in the last few months that haven't had a really clear conclusion at the end. And I'm thinking that some of you might be wondering, well, whatever happened to these radios that either really didn't get fixed properly or have disappeared suddenly, kind of. Let's start that again. Hi, and welcome to my office, and I'm going to take a few minutes, kind of go over some of the projects that I've worked on the last couple of months that haven't ended so nicely, frankly. And you might be wondering, gee, what happened to those radios and the like? So there's one right here. This is my SP600. Now, it's all sitting here. It's all ready to go. Everything's great about it, except my antenna fell down during the winter, my somewhat lousy antenna fell down, and I don't have an antenna to run this radio. So the weather's changing up here right now, and it won't be too long before I can get into my backyard and sling the antenna back up, and then I can continue working with this radio. It literally has not been operated since it left my shop. So you can see right above it is another big old radio. This is a Collins R398. That hasn't been in my shop. I'm not inclined to bring this guy in, because I don't think I'm quite ready to work on this particular radio. So, now, talking about big radios, how about that Heathkit? How about that Heathkit radio? Hey, there it is, right there. Now, it's also set up, sitting and waiting. Sorry for my somewhat shaky camera work here. You can see the radio speaker and also the scope monitor, which I never really ran in my shop because you need some power coming out of the back of the ham radio to enable this guy over here to work. But here it is, sitting and waiting. It's ready to go. Well, as much as it was. If you watch the videos on this, you know this guy still is a little bit troublesome. Let's just turn it on and see what happens here. Oh, I don't have him plugged in at the moment, so. But again, I haven't done a follow-up video of this radio operating because my ham radio antenna fell down on the winter. And I can't operate it. So again, I'm just waiting for antennas. I plan to erect some really decent antennas, probably the first time in my life I've really had decent antennas. And then I'll shoot videos on the ham radio operating and a little bit more on PSK31, which is the system that I use. So that's what's happening with that guy. By the way, here's another radio that'll make it into my shop at some point. Most of the radios here in my office are mine. And so, now, what about another radio here? Oh, over here. How about over here? So, my God, there's the squealer. Yes, a couple of months ago I worked on a radio and I ended it with it squealing away like crazy after I replaced all the capacitors. There it is, sitting here, peacefully waiting for its chance to get back in the office. In the case of this one, I'm trying to acquire the tubes. Not trying very hard, frankly, but I know where I can get them. I just have to go do it. I'm trying to acquire the metal tubes that are called for on the schematic and get the glass tubes out of here and see if that doesn't affect the squeal. But he may get back in my shop sooner than later. Here's something that you've never seen. This is my $10 stereo. I picked this big, beautiful stereo up at a yard sale for 10 bucks. And there's essentially only two things wrong with it. It's quite usable the way it is. There's two things wrong with it. All these switches and dials and adjustments are all dirty and a little bit intermittent. It's a little annoying. But the real problem is on the FM side, this radio requires a realignment. And the FM alignment really stretches me, so I'm not particularly rushing at it. Hey, what's that peeking at? Oh, there's the low opta. Okay, I don't have to say too much about this. If you've been watching my videos as I post them, you know the story on this guy. Hey, I haven't given up on him. I got ideas in my own head, and I see a lot of comments have come for how to get on with it. Get some other transformers to replace the one that burned out, or try to fix the one that's burned out, or whatever. It's not going away. It's part of a console, and it goes with, and I hope I don't have this wrong, goes with this record player, which which is sitting here also waiting for its chance to get back in the console along with this guy and get working. So he will work his way back into my shop. Now, the farm radio, I'm just posting videos on right now. The farm radio is sitting right up here. That's this guy here. I got one more video to post. I'll post it a little later today. And I'm not sure just how far I'm going to go with that guy just yet. Another radio beside it, which I've already posted all the videos on, and it's completed. So that's what's going on with those guys. Now, a couple more of my own radios here, which may or may not make it into my shop. But this one down here, this one I bought about a year ago. I bought it specifically to take the coil out of it and put it into a radio that I didn't own, that I was working on, where I had damaged the coil. So I bought this radio just to get the coil. You know, it's a nice looking little radio. Actually, I was quite happy with it. I paid a pretty good buck from it. Came all the way up from Texas. But I just noticed the other day that, oh, that glass is broken in it here. It must have broke when I moved. I'm not sure about that. That's a little bit of a disappointment. But sooner or later, he'll get back in my shop. I'll figure out what to do about the coil that's now missing out of it. And let's see, in terms of videos not yet posted, I have a whole series on a radio. This is the turntable from it. I have a whole series ready, well, not quite ready to post, that I've done. In fact, I did it almost a month ago, believe it or not. In the midst of working on the low Opta, I did another console right in the middle of it. And so you'll be seeing videos on this guy fairly soon, this turntable and its matching receiver and whatnot. Now, what else have I got in here that's of some interest? Well, since I have the camera running, let's just look over here. Maybe I should have cleaned my office up a little more. Oh, there's my $2 telescope. Why have I got a $2 telescope? Came across this at a yard sale. Can't go wrong for $2. Pick this thing up. This is like the lousiest, cheapest, crummiest reflecting telescope you can get. It's really a toy. But once in a while I dig it out and I have a little bit of fun with it. It's in my office here because I taped the camera here to the eyepiece and I was shooting it out my window. Let's take a look out my window here. Out my window last night, up into the sky. Oh, that's the sun. That's a little hard on my camera, I guess. Trying to get a shot of Jupiter, which is rising in the early evening here. And I was quite interested in trying to see it on this telescope. But guess what? That didn't work out worth a hoot in the end. Now, this is another radio record player combination. This is my own. It's a really nice guy. He might get in my shop. He's been in there before. But he might get back in there at some point. The problem with my own stuff is it's at the bottom of the priority list all the time as I work on other people's radios. And just talking about my own stuff, I don't have a huge collection of radios, in case you're... And most of the things you see in my shop, they're not mine. They're somebody else's. I'm fixing them up for them. So here's a little rundown on some of the radios I've got. This one's been in my shop a couple of years ago. This very nice Zenith high-fidelity radio. This radio was originally owned by a fairly well-known person here in Ontario anyway, a guy named Ted Rogers, who basically started up and owns the Rogers cable system, which just about everybody, I shouldn't say just about everybody, but many people are, get their internet from the Rogers cable system, internet, television, all that kind of stuff. This was his desk radio, and I've got it. How do you like that? A desk radio back in the 60s and 70s, I guess. This is my shortwave radio from when I was in high school. A fellow I ran into, an older man who had a garage full of radios, brought me in to show them to me and said, hey, take one. And this is the one I picked. This is a great shortwave radio with all the different bands on it. This is made by Pi, or the brand is Pi. That's a British make, very big in Britain. I believe they're still operating. But this was actually built here in Canada. It's been in my shop once. It'll get in there again someday. And then I have this guy here. This is just your basic European shortwave radio. Like it's a Sava. And it too will get in there, I hope. Someday, maybe. Who knows? So that's a little bit of a rundown on the stuff I have here. As another one of my a clock radio that I have. This is a really nice looking radio. It needs to go in the shop. I think it's a Hummer. But again, it's just low on the list of things to get in there and get fixed up. So that's just a little bit. I just want to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about some of the work and where it stands. And by the way, I have radios working their way up to my shop right now. And I'm going to be a busy guy. To step up my rate. You see, what's happened is I work fast enough at times that I can create 5 videos a day for 5 days running. That's 25 videos. That's hours worth of videos. If I post them one after another as I make them, I will pump out so much video stuff, nobody can keep up. And that's not so good too in running my video channel. So what I'm trying to do, it's been fairly easy lately, is work slow enough that I'm posting close to when I've done the work. But the fact is, the videos I'm posting right now on the farm radio, I did 2 weeks ago. So just can't keep everything in sync all the time. And this other record player and console that I've completed, there's probably 10 videos coming on that, and I haven't even prepared them yet. I haven't had time to prepare them, which goes back to why is that I don't answer all my comments. I can't keep up. There's a comment coming in on my videos every 15 minutes during the day, 15, 20 minutes. There's a new comment. I can't keep up. So something's got to give, and that's what's given. But I'll tell you, with the low opta, I have read all the comments now, or most of the comments, and replied to many of them kind of after the fact. So I certainly appreciate the very intelligent, very kind comments that people leave, trying to help me out, and occasionally it does help me out, that's for sure. But as you know, my practice around comments is I'd rather kind of stay away from them and go it alone. You know, this radio work for me is a little like climbing a mountain. And if I manage to climb the mountain on somebody else's back, who's going to plant the flag at the top? I won't be able to plant the flag at the top. So that's why sometimes I don't read comments. I see now in the low opta, many of you had observed the burned transformer, and somehow it just missed me. I did not visually see the cooked brown transformer. It did not click in my brain. And part of that is because I've never really encountered a blown transformer before. It's just, I don't think it's ever happened. So it's just not on the list of things that I would be suspicious about. But for many of you, it was. And so I see early on lots of comments about, check that transformer out. Well, okay, I eventually got there. I eventually climbed that mountain. I just ended up taking a little bit of a tough route to get there. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching my videos and your very thoughtful and serious comments. It's great. It's great. So that's it, and keep watching. I don't think there's any end to what I'm going to be doing and putting up on YouTube. So thanks. We'll see you.